baby. Hey. I tell you, baby. I tell you, Martell is a mess. Baby, the way that Martell and Marceau was down at that restaurant, girl, cutting up. Hey! Ooh wee! Ooh wee, ooh wee, ooh wee. Let's just go ahead and start talking, y'all. Girl, we just gonna talk. Okay? We just gonna talk. All right, let's just start. Okay, we're gonna start off with Tisha. We're gonna start off with Wanda's daughter. Wanda's daughter. So I'm assuming Tisha got to the end of that street and Carlos King had one of those producers tell Tisha to turn back around. Because I looked up and I saw that Ford Escape, okay, that Ford Explorer girl swerving back into that empty parking spot. So, because Tisha left the scene, but then she came back. I'm sure the producers probably told her, girl, I don't know what you're trying to do, but girl, you're gonna go back and finish that scene. So she comes back, and this is what it is, right? I like Tisha, I do, but Tisha is so full of it. This is this the bottom, the fact of the fact. This is the fact. Okay, it's not a fact. My opinion is Tisha started getting clocked by Nell, and so she really didn't have an argument, and verbally she really couldn't keep up with Nell because Tisha started getting caught up in her lies as far as what she said earlier in the conversation. I didn't say that. No, I said this. No, girl. And Nell is remembering the stuff that you said. So now you're getting clocked on the stuff that you said in this conversation. Now your husband is getting clocked. And so Tisha used, oh, you're yelling at me as an excuse to get out of the conversation. Oh, you're disrespecting me. You're yelling at me. This is where I hold the PTA Super Moms of the Year awards. You're not going to yell at me at the coffee shop. This is where I do my PTA meetings at every Monday night. She didn't say that. But she did say that this is where, like, basically something with like the kids and meetings, and she wasn't about to cut up. Now, girl, as much as we've seen y'all raise y'all voices in all types of establishments around Huntsville, Alabama, but now all of a sudden, girl, PJ's coffee shop is off limits. Girl, get out my face. So anyways, oh girl, I did hear that coffee was good. When we went to New Orleans, my sister went, and those pastries, I didn't try, I didn't go. But I said when I go back to New Orleans, girl, I'm gonna go to PJ's and get some try the coffee and some of those cakes and pies. I don't know if they sell cakes and pies. I think it's like pastries basically. Does cakes and pies fall into pastries? Does it? Because when I think of pastries, I think of like croissants and like um, I don't know. Anyways, I don't think they sell necessarily like slices of cakes and pies. Anyways, that's beside the point, girl. See, that's what my ADHD started kicking in. Girl, get back on track. Okay. So, girl, just look up PJ's Coffee and you'll see what they sell. All right. So, where did I leave off at? So Tisha says that she's basically been dealing with a lot, right? I guess this is her way of trying to be transparent with Nell. Okay, I got a lot to say, and my mind is rushing like at 1,000 miles per hour. Let me just say this. Yes, we want everybody to be transparent on reality TV. That's the whole purpose. That's why it's called reality TV. However, I'm going to defend Tisha and Marceau just for like a few seconds. Girl, it's been 10 seasons. Well, they say it's been 10 seasons. It's really been like 6. It's really been like five and a half. But it's been 10 seasons, right? We have been talking about Marceau cheating on Tisha for 10 seasons, right? And up until last year or the end of the last season, we finally had a woman come for not finally, but we had a woman come forward and say that she had sex with the Scott brothers. Up until then, it was kind of like, girl, y'all ain't got no dirt on me. So I can understand how at some point it's like, girl, I still got something for Tisha in about 15 minutes. Don't get it twisted. But at some point, it's like, just we're going to have to let the mouse go. Once we get to the point where we're steady talking about the same thing and the outcome isn't changing, it starts to get tiring, right? We can continue to talk about Marceau and whether or not he cheated on Tisha. And we can think what we think. I've said this plenty of times. Do I know that Marceau has cheated on Tisha? No, I don't. Do I think that Marceau has cheated on Tisha? Yes, I do. Okay. But the fact of the matter is, again, up until the end of last season, when Martell and Ariane did that interview, a woman hadn't come forward. And a lot of people thought that the girl was telling a lie. Now we're gonna get into some stuff in this review. But I can understand what Tisha is saying. Like, girl, every time I look up, y'all talking about, girl, basically, my husband cheating on me, and y'all ain't had no baby. But ain't nobody come forward with no baby. Ain't no woman really came forward. Now there's been, a little smoke here and there. But for the most part, we really haven't had any concrete evidence, if that makes sense. And now we have these new couples on the show. Let's dive into Nell and Chris and why people were saying that Nell was a side chick. Let's really get into that and not just brush over it. Let's get into Chris cheating on Nell. Let's get into whoever that was, a relative that they said was down on YouTube. Was it last year or the year before last? Baby, spraying their business. You see what I'm saying? There are other things that can be discussed and not us continuing to talk about Marceau cheating on Tisha 10 seasons in. At some point, it's like, girl, if y'all ain't got no hoe to come forward, girl, I don't want to hear it. And even the one that came forward, everybody thought the heifer was lying. Now, again, we're gonna get into some stuff. Let's move on. Nell basically talks about being a mentor and how she's going to stop, basically, I guess, using that, referring to herself, I guess, amongst this friend group as their mentor. And then she says she's a certified life coach. Girl, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're going to have to talk about Nell and her way of thinking just a little bit. Let's go on to Kimmy and Maurice, right? Maurice tells Kimmy that he's meeting up with Martell. Kimmy basically thinks it's a waste of time. It is. It's not going to change anything. Maurice says that Martell is spiraling. At this point, they're basically, what Maurice is trying to do, and I think they've said this for a few seasons now, Martell is having mental health issues. That's their concern, basically. He's spiraling out of control. I think there's some mental health issues there. They're trying to paint Martell as a nutcase. My problem with everybody in this whole equation, including Kimmy, including Maurice, including Marceau, and I think even Tisha. I can't remember. It's been a lot of episodes. I remember certain people in the friend group referring to him as a good guy. That's my guy. The verbiage that they use, y'all remember. Even though we saw Martell treating his wife like shit on the bottom of his shoe, Now everybody is gooped and gagged that Martell has now turned around and stuck his veins into the side of their necks. Let me say something. If you treat your wife like shit, I don't trust you, and you definitely gonna treat me like shit. I've seen Martell dog Melody out to the point where y'all know I'm sometimes emotional. Okay. I remember one episode when Melody almost started crying. I almost started crying because I felt bad for her. I did. Even though I had this back and forth with Melody, I felt bad for Melody. And when he called that lady a hoe on TV, I thought that was so disrespectful. Now, mind you, you're the one who has an outside baby on your family, but you're calling your wife a hoe. So we've seen Martell disrespect his wife. We've seen Martell disrespect his family. And now Martell has turned around, even though quiet as it's kept. Martell been on their asses since season 1. Martell is the one who let it be known that Marceau had 20 girlfriends. I always said, and I have never changed my tune, they are going to make sure that they remain cool with Martell because Martell holds the secrets. And Martell is a volcano waiting to explode. And they have to try to keep Martell near so they can try to keep him under control. And they're losing control, right? Before it was just Martell kind of just on TV, blurting out shit. Now he actually going to get side hoes and he interviewing them. Right? It's one thing for you to say, oh, you had 20 girlfriends. I don't think anybody believed that Marceau had 20 girlfriends. But girl, I think a lot of us believed he probably had 1 or 2. Maybe 3. You know what I'm saying? Right? I always felt like even though they knew Martell was the one who could blow up the spot, they had to keep Martell close. So we need to keep this nigga under control for he tell all our motherfucking business. I always felt that about the men on the show. Keep him close. He's spiraling. He going out of, he's saying shit because he losing his family. Right? He losing his family. Now he's starting to tell out our business. Because you know how y'all say birds of a feather flock together? When it comes to the girls, if one of the friends are a hoe in the group, then all the girls are a hoe in the group. Well, girl, we could apply that to every friend group. Based off of the things that have been said, I definitely think that these men were cheating on their girlfriends/wives. And I think now it's gotten to a point with them where now they're really starting to lose Martell because, again, now he's setting up interviews. Now this is a whole nother ball game. You see what I'm saying? But they didn't care. To a certain degree, they didn't. And so now everybody is, oh my God, when he's a nice guy, he's a nice guy. But when he's mean. Or when he's not, he's not. But girl, on some real shit, Martell been a mess. He's been a mess. He's been a mess since season 1. And because y'all didn't like Melody, y'all really didn't care. But see, Miss Melody not on the show no more. So who gonna get the smoke now? That's the real gag. Melody not on the show. So now who gonna get the smoke from Martell? And now everybody like, oh my God, girl, what we gonna do? Now the pit bull is loose. Now he's about to attack us. But because y'all dislike Melody, y'all were always Team Martell low key. I always said, girl, they gonna choose Martell over Melody all the time. You could tell. You could look at their actions and the stuff that they say. They Melody didn't fool with them, and they didn't fool with Melody. Cool, but that don't mean you got to fool with the. That don't mean you got to fool with the with the trifling ass husband though. Because I could not fool with neither one of y'all. Be very clear. Okay. Anyways, all right, girl. So let's keep on talking. Kimmy, you know what? When Kimmy is in her bag, Kimmy is in her bag. That's my girl. Y'all know Kimmy has always been my girl, but she been losing me. She been girl. I'm gonna be honest. She started losing me when she was letting that big ass nigga climb on top of her when the bitch was damn near dying. When she had one foot into glory and she was over there still trying to make sure that Maurice caught a nut. She kind of lost respect for me right then. Girl, I wish the fuck I would be going through breast cancer, any type of cancer, damn near halfway dead. And girl, I'm letting some nigga climb on top of me. Girl, we don't get your ass. I'm talking about if I was like, Kimmy. You just laying up there, girl, puss just dry. Ain't got no sex drive. And the only thing he can think about is catching one. Right then and there, I started looking at Kimmy like, oh, girl. If I can't put myself first in this moment. Anyways, so she basically tells Martell, hold on, I think my niece texted me. Hold up, y'all. Oh, girl. Girl, a nigga. Girl, leave me alone. So Martell, she says that she basically tells Maurice that Martell looks at Marceau as wait, I'm sorry, Martell. This nigga just got me. This nigga just got me all discombobulated. Okay, hold on, let me look at my notes. Martell looks at Marceau as an extension. Okay, she's basically saying that Martell looks at Marceau as an extension of your brother. He doesn't give you the respect he thinks you're basically. Kimmy was basically telling Maurice that Martell doesn't give you the respect that you think that he gives you. While you're talking to him, he's like, yeah, man, yeah. But really and truly, low key, what she basically trying to say, he don't fuck with you either. Girl, long story short, he don't fool with you because when he looks at you as an extension of Marceau. And you're always gonna be Team Marceau. You just like your brother. So I might entertain you and let you come to my house, so we can probably have a little ponderosa. But past that, I don't fool with you like that. And that's what Kimmy was basically trying to tell him. She also says that Marceau looks at the situation. I've been saying this. She just kind of worded it a little differently than me. She basically said that Marceau, and Maurice said this too, that the women have always told them that they could be more like Martell. They say Martell was very. I'm acting like I ain't seen every episode. Martell was very hands-on, right? He helped around the house. He helped with the kids. Kimmy even said that one of the things that he's always said is that he doesn't understand how basically you have these women catering to y'all to the point where they're cooking and cleaning and having dinner on the table when you come home, and y'all don't even do half of the shit that I do. And so now Martell has lost his family and they still have theirs. How do you still have your family when y'all ain't nowhere near as good as a man as I am? Because even y'all wives been telling y'all that y'all need to be more like me. Bitch. But them girl, but that's what it is. And that's why I used to always say, girl, sorry, girl, I'm not trying to bring her back into the we mentioned her already, but I'm gonna mention her again. I've always said that with Melody and Martell, when their shit came tumbling down, they wanted to set the whole neighborhood on fire. And I will never change my mind on that. That's the issue that Martell is having. I lost my family, even though I was in control of the situation and I could have kept my dirty dick inside of my drawers. I still decided to go out because the fact of the matter, I'm not going to say the fact, there's a big chance that Melody still would be with Martell if they went on this television show. Martell had it all figured out. I'm going to have me a girlfriend and I'm going to have me a wife. I'm going to have my family and I'm going to have my fun on the side. I don't think Martell ever really thought that Melody would leave him, especially when she, got pregnant again. He thought he had it in the bag. And so now I think it really messed up with Martell because, again, y'all not even good husbands like me. Y'all not even good daddies like me. And I still lost everything and y'all still got y'all shit. How the hell is that? She basically tells Marceau that, she basically tells Maurice that he's wasting his time and that the time that he's basically wasting to go talk to Martell, he could be spending with his son. She said, you could be spending time with Munster doing things with him like we've been telling you. And then he said, well, hopefully there's some progress. Girl, that's your response. Girl, when I tell you, your response to your wife telling you that don't waste your time with Martell and that you could be spending that time with your son, his response is, well, hopefully there's progress. Oh, excuse me. Marceau and Tisha. Girl. Let me say this. I'm assuming what they mean when they say that Tisha got into Chris's face is that she was aggressive. She was assertive. Because when they say she got in his face, she didn't get in his face. And the clips they're showing is not her getting in his face. Did she approach the situation hostile? Maybe so. Drunk, absolutely. Aggressive, yeah. Assertive, yeah. Yelling, yes. But they're like, you got in his face. I guess, girl. Whatever. Marceau tells Tisha that she needs to watch Destiny because she's basically talking about the friend group and how, it's easy breezy kind of basically with her, Kimmy, and Destiny. And he says you need to watch Destiny because a friend, basically saying she's everybody's friend. Now, I will say this. And Team Melody, please don't say nothing to me about Destiny because I know y'all gonna be y'all gonna be the first ones in the comments. Girl. I want people who not Team Melody, people who who can be objective. I don't recall a time that Destiny gave me just like two-faced. I remember when her and Melody fell out and she kind of started tugging on Melody's wig a little bit. But for the most part, I don't remember Destiny being the person where it's just like you just can't trust her. Because if anything, out of everybody, she always kept Martell honest. Martell is her friend, but Destiny has tugged on Martell's wig plenty of times. The only reason why Marceau is saying that is because Destiny is cool with Martell and he don't fuck with Martell. So now all of a sudden Destiny is a problem. But again, Destiny wasn't a problem, girl, season 3, 4, 5, whenever she joined. And y'all knew she was cool with Martell. But now all of a sudden, girl, you don't fool with Martell. Now you gotta watch out for Destiny because that's his friend. But has Destiny really shown y'all that she can't be trusted? Again, I can't remember every episode, so y'all just let me know in the comment section. And then Tisha starts to talk about at the end of the day, marriages should be off. and kids should be off. Girl, shut the fuck up. Girl, shut the fuck up. Let me tell y'all something. We're not going to start playing this game on a television show literally titled Love and Marriage, Huntsville. That's the title of this show. And y'all feel as though that your marriages should not be up for conversation. Y'all want to get with these niggas who get on television, have babies on you, possibly are having threesomes with their brothers, girl, meeting up with women, and these things come up and they become a hot topic on a reality television show, and y'all expect that nobody is supposed to discuss these things. Marriages should be off. Girl, shut up. That don't even make no sense. How will we even in let's take out the fact that this is a reality show. If this was a friend group in real life, right? And one of your friends' husband got his side chick pregnant, you don't think the friend group gonna talk about it? Let's just be honest. Bitch, you know Keisha, you know James got that bitch pregnant. Who? The side chick, you lying. They're gonna talk about it. If two of the husbands in the friend group, it now got out that supposedly they were sleeping with this woman in Las Vegas, you don't think the friend group is not gonna be a topic of conversation? Friends or not, we talking about it. Yeah. Now we might not disrespect our friends because we friends, but we definitely gonna be on the phone like, bitch, you won't believe this shit. Don't lie, tell the truth now. So now we're on a reality show. Let's bring the reality TV aspect back into it, right? Now we're on a reality TV show. Love and Marriage, not Fear Factor, bitch, not The Amazing Race, but not America's Got Talent, not American Idol, not The Voice. Reality shows where your marriage probably would not be discussed. But on this reality TV show, where marriage is in the title, and marriages are discussed throughout these episodes, episode after episode, season after season, Tisha feels that the marriages should be discussed. But I'm going to tell you what it is. Shout out to the cousins for clocking Tisha. Know what it is? It's Miss Tisha. Now that Melody is gone, Melody and Martell's marriage can't carry the show anymore. Now, let me be very clear. I think that every single person on this cast has contributed something to this show. I've never bought into, Melody and Martell were the only ones with storylines. That's not the truth. We've had plenty of storylines from Kimmy and Kyle and Maurice. We've had storylines from Marceau and Tisha and Ms. Wanda. They've all gave something to this show. But when it comes to marriages, Martell and Melody, when it came to their marriage was always on Front Street. Now the girls are nervous because now with Melody gone and Martell's still there, but the marriage not there, bitch, who marriage they gonna talk about? So now Tisha wants to pull the let's not talk about marriages. Y'all ain't had no fucking problem asking questions about Melody and Martell marriage. Y'all didn't have no problems, girl, talking about their marriage, whether it was questions or, sitting with them talking about the marriage. So why now all of a sudden 10 seasons in, now marriages are off limits? They ain't never been off motherfucking limits. Oh no. Oh, I know what it is. Yeah, like the cousin said, now one of y'all bitches' marriage is going to be the hot topic. Now everybody running around, girl, like roaches when a light come on. Now don't nobody want to talk. But the gag is, if y'all trifling ass husbands stop putting y'all in positions where your marriage could be up for grabs or be a hot topic amongst the friend group, then you won't have nothing to worry about. But when your husband's out here having babies and fucking bitches in hotel rooms in Las Vegas, then what the fuck you think we gonna talk about? We're gonna talk about the side babies, the side bitches, and the bitches who y'all fucking in Las Vegas, allegedly. You see what I'm saying? Because the women ain't bringing no dirt or embarrassing their husband with some side nigga. It's the opposite. No, we're not gonna not talk about, y'all get what I'm trying to say. No. Yes, we're gonna talk about the marriage. Let's talk about the husbands. Shout out to Kim Richards.
Sober for 3 years. Oh, wait, excuse me. Did you just say let's talk about the husband?
Let's not talk about what you don't want out.
It's just mind-blowing how now all of a sudden Tisha wants to have these rules. You know, the marriage is off limits. Kids should be off limits. When the truth of the matter is, girl, we ain't forgot, or at least I haven't. I ain't forgot how your mama, Miss Wanda, y'all know I love me some Miss Wanda, but I ain't forgot how Miss Wanda was down to the World Wide Web talking about Melody children and their hair. But now we ain't talking about the marriages of kids. Tell your mama that. Nell and Chris. Nell sounds insane to me. As someone who has said that she is a life coach, the way that she thinks, I think is a tad bit problematic. And I'll tell you why. So Nell and Chris go to a toy shop. I think they're shopping for toys for their grandkids. And Chris brings up, him talking to Lance and, the whole Destiny situation. And, Nell believes that Chris doesn't really owe her any type of conversation or explanation. She says she told Lance, did I say Chris? I mean, that Lance doesn't owe Destiny any type of explanation. She says she told, wait, what did I write? It says, oh, that's why I got confused. I put says if Chris wants to talk. Lance. Okay. Chris is a husband, Lance is a son. That's why I was getting confused. I wrote down a wrong name. She basically was saying that if he wants to talk, if Lance wants to talk to Destiny, then so be it. They weren't exclusive. She claims that she ain't never gave him none. He's a damn man, and y'all have needs, right? So somebody else met them. My mama always told me, if you don't, then somebody else will. I thought that was so stank. I'm gonna tell you why. Nell is a woman who was cheated on. So I guess we can go ahead and say that you wasn't doing your fucking job. And that's why Chris stepped out and went to another woman. Because you wasn't doing it. If you don't do it, another bitch will. I think that is absolutely insane to say someone who says they're a life coach, girl, and also someone who was cheated on. So are we giving Chris a pass for cheating on Nell? Because from what she's saying, she wasn't doing her job. So that's why he went out and found it from somewhere else. But the reason why people were also calling Nell a side chick is because Chris was still, I think, legally married to his now ex-wife at the time I think he started talking to Nell. I don't think Nell knew. I can't remember the story. They kind of tapped on it a little bit, I think, last season. I don't think Nell really knew that he was still married or something like that. So I guess, I don't know. I'm not changing my stance. I don't give a damn if you're casually dating someone. I do think that it is absolutely weird because Lance knew he had that girl pregnant. And I still don't know the whole Lance story. And at this point, I really don't even give a damn because, some stuff that some of y'all refresh my memory. Thank y'all. I do remember now, Lance said he had been married a couple of times. You know what? I don't know. I don't care. I don't care about no Lance on that storyline. Anyways, so I was about to try to do a whole. I don't even care. I will say this though. If Destiny, I said this last week, if Destiny was walking around here 6 weeks pregnant, not showing, and just casually dating Lance, I think people would have an issue with it. Lance knew he had a baby on the way. So for him to just be casually dating and not mention that, because casually dating could possibly lead to something else. But if you go ahead and tell me from the get-go that you got a baby on the way, then we won't even do the whole casual dating shit. You see what I'm saying? So just to kind of reduce it down to, oh, well, girl, they were casually dating. That don't mean you withhold something that important from somebody. Because again, casual dating could lead to something completely different. What else? Oh, baby, here we go. The showdown. The showdown of showdowns, baby. Here we go.
Wait! What is the tea? The girls are fighting! No! The girls are fighting! Why? Why?
Eminem. In one corner, we got Martell Holt. In the other corner, we got Maurice Scott. So Martell and Maurice meet down at some restaurant, and Martell already knows what this is about. You know, it's about the infamous interview that has taken place with some woman who alleges that she had sex with both the Scott brothers. Martell comes in, of course, wearing his tight ass pants. When I tell you this is no shade. Every time I look at Martell pants be so tight, and I never see a panty line. So either Martell don't wear no drawers, or either Martell wear a thong. But Martell pants be too tight for you not to. And on top of that, it's like a dress pant. So you would see some type of something, whether it's a box, because his pants be super, super tight. And you don't never see no panty line. So I'll be like, go do Martell wear drawers? I don't know, child. Anyways, they start off, you know, the pleasantries. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? And Martell starts talking. Girl, I will never understand Martell. I will never understand what Martell is doing with this girl, because he says that basically he's trying to stop playing around and he's trying to take Ariane seriously. That's what he said. Girl, I will never understand how a man ruined his entire marriage over a piece of ass. And now that you have access to the ass 24/7, you can make this woman your wife today if you wanted to. And now it's like, it's kind of like the thrill. It's kind of like the thrill is gone, right? Everything that you had in your life was ruined because of your actions that you decided to take with this person. And now that you can be with this person, it's kind of like, I'm trying to figure it out. Like, girl, what? And then Maurice tells Martell, you know, you had a rough couple of months. And Martell says, I did? When? I cannot stand Martell Holt. Girl, I can't. Because when I tell you Martell was wearing me out and wearing Maurice out, when I tell you the way that Martell was playing in Maurice's face, the way Martell had me over here in this living room yelling at the top of my lungs. He basically said Tisha and Marceau lied on him, so he swung back. For those who don't know, because this is the thing that Carlos is doing, Carlos King, Kingdom Reign, and whatever the production company is called, girl, they're not really making the girls and boys say what it is. So for those who don't know, let me just say this. Some of y'all need to refresh my memory. I don't know who necessarily took the first, you know how you know how like in some situations, a situation is over and then somebody says something slick and then the beef is reignited. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, my sister was texting me. Okay, you know how like when a beef is kind of like over, then somebody says something slick, and then the beef is kind of like reignited in a way. I don't know, but I think, girl, it'd be so many episodes. I can't remember everything, y'all. Girl, it'd be like 35 episodes a season with Love and Marriage Huntsville. So some stuff I just can't remember. I want to give Martell. I want to say that Marceau did take the first swing. I think that Marceau was saying slick shit. You know, like being shady, basically. And Martell caught it and didn't like it. I think that's what it was. And I think that kind of got the ball rolling again. And Martell basically wasn't gonna let go. But again, I could be mistaken. I can't remember exactly who like threw the first little shade. And then fast forward, they had a field day, and Martell and Marceau got into it, and Martell started talking about some nigga who Tisha was fucking in college. And I was so disgusted because I was like, girl, I was disgusted at Marceau. Because girl, you gonna let this nigga, girl, like I just thought it was crazy how he was letting Martell talk about Tisha. And then come to find out, Tisha goes down to Carlos King's YouTube channel live and says that basically they were arguing. But Carlos already knew all this shit. You know, I feel like Carlos does certain things to protect Martell. She says basically that they were arguing back with Martell, that they just edited out, and that basically Martell was fucking niggas in college. And she said that ain't no allegedly. Bitch. Now that's what she said. I wasn't there. Okay. I don't know who Tisha was opening her legs to, and I don't know who Martell was opening his legs to, or who legs he was crawling in between. I don't know. Or bending over. I don't know. So you doing the bending?
Ain't nobody bending me over.
Oh, so you doing the bending?
I don't know. I'm just telling y'all what Tisha said. Tisha said that Martell was having sex with men, with boys, you know, when they were in college, dudes in college. And she said, ain't no allegedly. And so that's what Martell is basically talking about when he says, because they won't just say what they said. They're not saying it on the show. So if you didn't watch Tisha, or if you don't know about Tisha in the Carlos King live, you wouldn't really know what Martell was talking about when he talks about Tisha and Martell lying on him. He's basically talking about that's the lie that they told. And then he basically tells Marceau that he should have stepped up to tell Maurice to stop. And it kind of reminded me of what Kimmy said. Kimmy said it. Kimmy looks at Marceau as an extension of Maurice. How did she say it? Maurice as an extension of Marceau. However she said it. And basically kind of like, you gonna get it too. And you gonna be 100% Marceau. So when he gets to swinging, he's swinging on all y'all. Well, both of y'all. You're not gonna stop. You're not gonna step in to stop it. Okay, so I'm gonna get you too, basically. Then Mark, bitch. You know, this is the thing, right? People could be 1,000,000% telling the truth. But sometimes I do feel like when your story sounds so outlandish, it may just be best to kind of just leave it alone. So Maurice basically starts talking about the timeline because Martell says he was pissed off about something that Maurice did at the reunion. And so when he saw, basically Carlos was asking him, girl, I don't know why I just got frustrated. Carlos was asking Martell about the whole RP that happened with Melody, right? His ex-wife. And he was trying to explain the situation, and he really couldn't find the correct words to say whatever. Maurice had said something or did something that Martell didn't like, basically. So Maurice started explaining basically, like, when you're in the middle of like a case, basically kind of shut up, which is the truth, which is what they'll tell you. Even Martell was like, yeah, my lawyers did tell me, like, really don't talk. If you're in the middle of anything legal, girl, just don't say nothing, right? He starts to talk about his case with the DUI.
Oh God,
That's what
I'm lit.
Yes, you are lit.
Can you?
That's why you're here.
No.
And he says that the timeline that people had was all wrong. And he basically, I guess now because the case is dismissed and over, he decides to tell the truth. And he says that he... When I tell you, Maurice sat there right in front of Martell, in front of that cameraman, and however many producers were down there, and said that basically him and Kimmy left. Girl, basically, long story short, he said that he hit an animal, a tree, and a pole. Bitch, when I tell you, Martell laughed in his face. Like, laughed in his face to the point where Martell had tears coming down his eyes. Girl, that's how hard he was laughing. And he told him that sounded like a story my 9-year-old would say. It just doesn't sound believable because at one point I thought that the timeline was, didn't Maurice get arrested like that morning or like close to the afternoon? Wasn't it something like that? Because people were like, girl, where are you coming from? So I can't remember the whole story. And then, girl, when Martell, I don't know if y'all caught this, bitch, when Martell said, do you chew gummies? Are you on a gummy right now? Bitch, when I tell you the way I was in here cracking up at Martell is one of those type of people. He's an ain't shit nigga, and I don't like Martell, but I do see, I think that's what most, I ain't gonna say what most, that's a lie. With some people, how they have their laughter can probably win you over, but you got to remember that ain't shit nigga. That's how I kind of feel like about Ray J and stuff. Like, Ray J is an ain't shit nigga, but I could also see how people could like Ray J. Now Ray J just a mess. Girl, this ain't got nothing to do with Ray J. Okay. And then Marceau says, what does my dick look like? Baby, I said, weird. I said, come on, what the dick look like? Girl, what the dick look like? Girl, tell us. Girl, draw a picture, baby. Here go a pen. Girl, draw us a picture, Martell. Tell us what the dick look like. It look like this. How the head look? Okay. How the balls look? Is it hairy? It look smooth? It look like this? Okay. Is the head round? Okay. Just tell me. I'll draw it. How the dick look? Well, how many inches? Okay. Anyway, he said, how my dick look? And this is the truth, right? All BS aside. And Marceau said this, and I'm with Marceau. As much as you might not want to admit it, because some people will be like, oh, that's gay. If you're in the room watching someone have sex, you know how their dick looks. Unless y'all just in some big, humongous room and you on the other side of the room and they way on the other side and you can't see shit. But if you're in a hotel room, girl, even if it's a suite, and you're in that room, you can see. So I'm with Maurice. You would know how my dick looks. And if Maurice has something on his dick, whether it's big ass balls, a big ass head, it curved to the left, curved to the right, then Martell would know, especially if he was in the room while they were having sex. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna buy. If you were in that room, then you would know how Maurice's dick looked. Because what were you doing? Because you were watching. Why else would you be in a room if you was not watching them have sex? You was facing a wall? Like, I'm not gonna look. Then Maurice says most of it is a lie. You putting sauce on everything. He said that throughout the conversation. And then Martell says, so Marceau didn't fly her out. And then he said, I don't know what Marceau did. I said, oh baby. Yeah, oh baby. Let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna go ahead and just say this right now. I don't know if the hoe is lying or not. Okay. This is what I feel like is happening. And this is what I feel. I don't know if this should be facts, okay? Somebody got fucked that night. Martell is not a drinker. I don't think Martell drinks alcohol. I think he might do a little 1-2. You know, to me, if you just do like, I don't think Martell drinks alcohol. I think he might just sip a little wine every now and again, you know, but I don't think Martell drinks. So people who don't drink, sometimes, especially if everybody else drinking, they can remember stuff because you know you're a little going off the goose. The goose will get you loose. I don't know. Okay. I believe that Marceau and Maurice definitely fucked somebody that night. Now, was it that woman? I don't know. Could it be another woman? Possibly so. Did Martell get the wrong girl? Possibly so. Could it not be a girl at all? Yeah. Do I think it's somebody? Yes, I do. Marceau says most of it is a lie. Nigga, what is the truth? So where is the truth? Because you didn't say all. See, and that's what I be saying. That's what I was saying about like Portia and Shamil when Shamil was like, most of the time people bring it up. Okay, so basically not all of the time. So same thing with this. Most of it is a lie. Then what is the truth? You putting sauce on everything. Well, what is he not putting sauce on? See, Martell started losing a little bit because he wasn't keeping up. He kept trying to make it seem, so you're trying to say we wasn't in Las Vegas together? That's not what he's saying, Martell. You got to listen. You got to, because you got to listen. He not saying y'all wasn't in Vegas together, Martell. As soon as he said most of it was a lie, Martell should have said, well, what's the truth? Well, Martell was just like, so you trying to say we wasn't in Vegas together? No, Martell. No, that's you should have been. No, you should have asked him as soon as he said most of it's not the truth. Wait, most of it's a lie. You should have said, well, what parts are the truth? Since you said I'm lying. You putting sauce on everything. I'm putting sauce on everything. So what parts am I not putting sauce on? Because you putting sauce on everything. I'm not buying it. Something happened in Vegas. The same way we'll sit here and say that when girls fool around or be that one hoe in the group, all the girls are hoes. Girl, and can I say something, y'all? This is what it comes down to also. This is just a lesson for everybody. Me, you, your mama, and your cousin too. Just be careful about the company that you keep. The fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter if you are the Barack Obama of the group. If you are hanging around nothing but girl Martell Holtz and people who cheat on their wives and have babies, people are going to think that you are also a Martell Holt. If you You cannot be surprised when people start to put you in the same category as a company that you keep. It's kind of how I felt about Jay-Z. When that girl came out and lied on Jay-Z and Puff Daddy and said that her daddy came and met her at a gas station and all types of shit she said, girl, you can't be surprised because the life that you live, which consists of drugs, slanging dope, girl, you hanging out with people who have been accused of the R word. How are you now surprised that your name is being caught up in the mess? Because that's who you hang around. Eventually, the mess is gonna come knocking at your motherfucking door. So if you hang around the same way people say that if a girl is a hoe, everybody in the group gonna be hoes. If you hang around ain't shit niggas, don't be surprised when people start thinking you an ain't shit nigga too. And that's really what it just comes down to. You do have to be mindful of the company that you keep. It doesn't matter. You could literally be a Barack Obama. You could be a Russell Wilson. But all the Barack Obamas and Russell Wilsons really hanging around a room, have a friend group that moves like Martell Hope, where they cheat on their wives and have babies. You see what I'm saying? You just got to be careful. So now, let's just play the what if game. Let's play the what if game. What if Martell and Marceau are telling the truth? What if Marceau and Maurice are telling the truth? Y'all party with this man. He cheats on his wife. He's gotten his side chick pregnant multiple times. I believe Ariane had a heaven baby at one point. Isn't that what she said? I can't remember. Correct me if I'm wrong. Y'all travel together. Y'all party together. So now we're surprised that now they're saying that you also are also into the same shit he into, which is fucking cheating on your wife. And y'all are like, no, that's not true. And it could not be true. But you put yourself in this situation where now people are gonna think that it's true. I've been thinking it's true. Okay. Anyways, and then when he said so Marceau didn't fly her out. So Marceau didn't fly her. So Marceau didn't fly her into town. Oh yeah. So Marceau didn't fly her into town. I don't know what Marceau did. Girl, you just told on your brother. You don't know what Marceau did. So you don't. I don't know if what Maurice just said. I don't know if he flew the side chick out or not. The girl who said, girl, like Marceau not telling the full story. Marceau, Maurice are the same niggas, girl, as far as I'm concerned. Maurice not telling the full story. Martell. Okay, you know what? Let me say this. I just told a lie. Hopefully y'all got this far in the video. I do believe that Martell is putting some sauce on it. I do. Do I think that Martell is telling the 100% truth about the whole situation? No. But do I believe there are some truths in there? Absolutely. And I believe the truth is that might not be the bitch, but it's one. Okay? That might not be her. And Martell probably got the girls confused because it was probably multiple. I don't know. And then Martell said, "Are you an attorney?" He said, "Sue us." Sue us. Sue her, sue me, sue us. I said, "Oh shit."
Hold on, are you an attorney?
Absolutely.
Sue us.
Listen, Martell.
Sue us.
What am I going to get from it?
We suing.
I know that's right.
I have to be honest. Martell is really pulling Maurice's card. The whole sue me, basically, bitch, if I'm lying, then do what you're going to do. If not, then shut the fuck up. And then, did y'all hear what Maurice said? What am I going to get from it? Wait, he basically said, nigga, you broke. What I'm going to get from suing you? I did kind of giggle at that though. And that was pretty much the end of that part. And then, long story short, Maurice wants to. The fact of the matter is, they are shooting a reality show, and at some point, they're going to have to be in the same room together. Maurice is basically trying to bring everybody together. Marceau doesn't want anything to do with Martell. He's okay with where their relationship is. Maurice feels like there needs to be some accountability on all ends. And I was with Marceau. Marceau basically said, I am taking accountability. I'm telling you that I'm not backing down from what I said. He's not changing his mind on what he said. And that's where we at. And I feel like sometimes people get accountability and apologies confused. I think Maurice wants them to apologize. And I remember Candace saying this at the reunion when they tried to say, basically, I'm very aware of what the fuck comes out of my mouth. Y'all bitches y'all are not aware of what comes out of y'all's. I know what the fuck I'm saying. Okay? Maurice wants Marceau to be held accountable for what he says. Marceau is saying the right thing. I am holding myself accountable. I'm telling you, I'm not changing what the fuck I said. I know what I said. I'm telling you, I'm not changing it. That's accountability to me. Maurice wants them to apologize. They're not apologizing. He said what he said. I said what I said. I ain't changing it. I'm holding myself accountable for what I said, and I'm not changing it. In the conversation, I was with Marceau. And that was pretty much it, y'all. That was the episode. I'm sure I forgot something, girl, because I always forget something. Girl, I got about 8 pages of notes, and I'm sure I probably forgot something. If so, girl, we'll just mention it in next week's episode. Let me look up these notes real fast. Hold up, because it's always something important that I forgot. I think that's it, girl. All right, y'all. I'm gone. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good night. Bye, y'all.